My father said it. I mean, he said it a couple weeks ago in a tweet. He said, you know, am I going to have to carry this whole weight on my shoulder? I mean, when are some of the people in my own party going to start protecting me? And I feel this, well, listen, I'm an outsider. I'm looking in on the White House, right? I mean, I'm running our company, but I mean, I want somebody to start fighting for him. You know, and he's the best fighter in the world. He will do a better job fighting him for himself than all of them will do fighting for him. But I mean, how much weight does he have to carry by himself?
I can't. Okay, all right, Alex. President Trump's son, Eric, taking aim at Republican lawmakers, criticizing them for not fighting hard enough to advance his father's agenda. And he seems to be following in his father's footsteps. President Trump has openly and repeatedly attacked members of his own party, saying they're at risk of looking like quitters and fools over health care. He hammered Alaskan Senator Lisa Murkowski for voting against the GOP plan, and Senator Dean Heller, who was thinking about it.
You didn't go out there. This was the one we were worried about. You weren't there, but you're going to be. You're going to be there. Look, he wants to remain a senator, doesn't he? Okay.
Trump also took aim at Republicans at large for not, quote, protecting their president. He attacked his administration's own attorney general as beleaguered and publicly toyed with Secretary Tom Price's future at Health and Human Services.
By the way, you going to get the votes? He better get them. He better get them. Oh, he better. Otherwise, I'll say, Tom, you're fired. I'll get somebody.
Joining us now from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Republican Congressman Charlie Dent. Very good to have you on the show, Congressman.
Great to be with you.
Does Eric Trump have a point? Do more people need to have his dad's back? Are they failing him? Republicans.
Well, I have to disagree with Eric. What he just said there. A lot of us are working with this administration very constructively, working with them on the debt limit, or working with them on budget agreements. I work closely with the VA. I oversee their funding. You know, we were working with Secretary Mattis on the transgendered issue, only to have that whole effort undermined by a presidential tweet that really contradicted what the Secretary of Defense had been doing. So we are working with the administration, but sometimes the administration needs to get out of its own way.
Congressman, it's Willie Geist. Good to see you this morning. Part of the appeal for many voters of Donald Trump as president was that he was this ultimate deal maker. He branded himself that way, and he's going to get to Washington, and this is what he does. He makes deals, so he'll do it with Congress. What's your experience, Ben? What's been the experience of your colleagues in that regard? Is he working the phones in terms of getting, I know you're not in the Senate, but in terms of getting the House bill through on health care? Was that the guy that you saw firsthand, the guy that was portrayed during the campaign, the guy we've seen on The Apprentice, the guy who calls himself the master of the art of the deal?
Well, I think the president seems to want a deal on health care, or any deal. He wants something on his desk. But many of us do want to present a deal not only to him, but to our leadership. 43 of us just in the last few days have put forward a bipartisan plan on health care that would stabilize the individual insurance market, that would provide for cost-sharing reduction payments and stabilization, and a repeal of the device tax, relief to the employer mandate. We have this out there. We're talking about it. We'd love to engage in that kind of a deal, so to speak, either with our leadership or with the president. So I look forward to engaging on that.
And has he been that kind of president for you, Congressman, in terms of working the phones and being a deal maker?
Well, at least on health care, I always had the sense that the administration and the president, they had outsourced the health care issue to Congress and that let Congress kind of handle this, and at least the president seemed to be less engaged with any specific details. That was my experience on that issue.
Bob Costa?
Congressman Dent, Bob Costa here. When it comes to the debt limit, who's going to actually determine what comes out of the House? Is it going to be your group, the moderates, the Tuesday group pushing for a clean debt limit extension, or will it be the Freedom Caucus and they'll probably want some cuts or some other part of the deal?
Well, hey, Bob, good to see you. I believe procedural consideration should be given to those members in the Tuesday group, the moderates, so to speak. We're the ones who are going to put the votes up. I'd like to determine how we vote on this bill. Specifically, we need a bipartisan, bicameral budget agreement to provide for some budgetary stability, and we need a debt limit to provide market stability. We should put the two together. We should negotiate this thing. We shouldn't negotiate it before August. We should negotiate it before October 1st and get it done. That would be the best thing we could do to provide both budgetary and market stability. and we'll put the votes up for it.
Barnacle.
Congressman, this is Mike Barnacle, and I noticed that you referenced the 43-member caucus that you've pulled together about health care legislation. Sounds to me as if it's sort of a AAA for legislation, you know, roadside, you know, your car broke down. But the 43 members, can you give me a breakdown by party of the 43 members? How many Democrats are in this?
Yeah, this is the Problem Solvers Caucus. It's 43 members. It's roughly evenly split between Republicans and Democrats who are supporting this proposal. I think we have about 50 members right now. So we had a strong consensus among the group to do something constructive on health care that we think is the starting point for a discussion. It's an incremental reform. I believe this is the way we should have always moved, do something durable, sustainable. This doesn't solve every problem, but it does provide some stability, and we as Republicans can walk away with some wins, and so can the Democrats.
That's a news story right there. I mean,
Yeah.
half and half, Democrats and Republicans working together. Wow, stop the presses.
Yeah.
We can only hope. Congressman Charlie Dent, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning. Robert Costa, thank you as well. Coming up, Mike Barnacle takes us back to John Kelly's old neighborhood. One man told him, "I remembered General Kelly very well as a little boy, kind of a shy kid. Given the job he just got, I hope to God he's over being shy." We'll talk about the tall task before him next on Morning Joe.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.